And welcome to another episode of Hazardous Verbal Waste. I'm your host, Shara Chan. Today is Saturday, November 23rd, 2019. Got a lot of really cool stuff to go over this week, including my personal review of the new Disney Plus streaming service. So without further ado, let's get right down to it, shall we? In Yu-Gi-Oh! News, YCS Pasadena is happening this weekend. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot that I can report on at this time, as Konami still has not updated their event coverage in the United States to match that which they use in other countries and other areas around the world. Until then, I'm just going to have to wait until Konami releases more information, and I'll bring you more in-depth reporting on YCS Pasadena next week. That's pretty much all I have for Yu-Gi-Oh! News this week. On to the next segment. In Magic the Gathering news, Oko has been banned from Magic the Gathering Standard Play, which includes Arena. Booting up Magic Arena will pull up a brand new ban list, which now includes the extremely contentious Oko Thief of Crowns Planeswalker that was just introduced in the most recent set of cards, Throne of Eldraine. Oko was an extremely oppressive card that could get out as early as turn 2 with help and set the tempo for the rest of the game. Pro players were essentially building around Oko or against him, as the entire meta was completely dominated by that one card, to the point where roughly 70% of some championship events included Oko in every deck. That reign ends today, as Oko is banned in Standard Play, in paper form, and in Magic Arena. Now, this is a huge deal, as Oko was a marquee character for the new set and one of the faces of Eldraine. But he's not the only banned card. Veil of Summer and Once Upon a Time are banned as well, on top of the existing recent Field of the Dead ban. In a statement, Magic Overseer Wizards of the Coast stated that, quote, "The standard metagame has been in an unhealthy state, and they are addressing, quote, Green's general dominance in the meta by banning the two aforementioned cards on top of Oko. Now, there's no grace period for this in Arena. Those cards are banned right now, and you cannot play with them, though you will receive wildcards based on how many copies you own. Now, Tabletop Play is scheduled to ban the cards on November 22nd, which has just recently happened. You can find the full ban list on on the Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering websites. That's pretty much all I have for Magic the Gathering news this week. On to the next segment. In gaming news, PlayStation makes big PS4 game free to play for limited time only. One of the best games on PS4 and Xbox One is free to play on both consoles, but only for a limited time. More specifically, Sony Interactive Entertainment, Microsoft, and Gearbox have announced that this year's big post-apocalyptic looter shooter, Borderlands 3, is free to play on both PS4 and Xbox One until the end of today, November 24th. And unlike some free weekend trials, Gearbox is letting players play as much as they want. That's right, you can spend as much time as you want shooting and looting on Pandora, Promethea, and Eden 6. As always, once the trial period lapses, you will no longer be able to play the game if you download it for free. In other words, if you want to continue to play it, you will need to pay for it in full. Thankfully, not only is the game currently on sale, but all of your progress made will carry over if you do buy the game in full. If you're on Xbox One, you will be able to play the game until November 24th today at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. Meanwhile, if you're on PS4, you'll be able to play the game a bit longer. More specifically, you'll be able to play the game for free until November 25th at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, Borderlands 3 is available for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Also in gaming news, new PS4 and Nintendo Switch game adding full crossplay support. A new Nintendo Switch, PC, and PS4 game is adding full crossplay, joining the likes of Fortnite, Rocket League, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and the other multiplayer games that have added the increasingly popular feature. More specifically, next month, Fantasy Strike will have full crossplay on each and every one of its platforms: Nintendo Switch, PC, PS4, Mac, and Linux. According to the developer Sirlin Games, since the game's launch earlier this year on July 25th, it's had some form of crossplay, but it was previously limited by Sony's restrictions. So the game only supported PS4 and PC and Nintendo Switch and PC crossplay. However, starting next month, the two consoles will finally start talking to each other as well. What this means is that all players, regardless of the platform, will be able to play against each other in both ranked and casual queues. At the moment, it's unclear if there will be an option to opt out of the feature. Quoting, "As an indie fighting game developer, crossplay means the world to us," writes Sirlin Games of the announcement. Continuing the quote, "More so than many other genres, a fighting game needs a united player base in order to achieve fast queue times, fair matches, and the highest level of competition. Our queue times have already been good, with an average wait of less than 90 seconds across all hours of the week. With full crossplay, it'll be even faster." Now, at the moment of recording, there's no word on whether the feature will be added beyond sometime next month. However, Sirlin Games notes a new online tournament will accompany the feature. Again, Fantasy Strike is available for PS4, PC, and Nintendo Switch. That's pretty much all we have for gaming news this week. On to the next segment. In entertainment news, first I'd like to start by talking about the new streaming service Disney Plus. First, a little bit about the service. Disney Plus is the latest in a long line of streaming services being offered by content creating companies in an attempt to break up the big three: Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime Video. From the home screen, you are immediately presented with 5 options of content: Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic. Each of these represent one of Disney's main categories of content. You have access to almost all of the movies and TV shows under those 5 categories, though there is quite a few shows and movies missing, which Disney plans to slowly release over time. So far, I have personally been enjoying the service, especially The Mandalorian, and for me, access to almost all of the Star Wars and Marvel movies. My wife has really been enjoying access to almost all of the Disney and Pixar movies. Not having access to the full library of Disney content is a bit of a drag, but there is so much there to occupy my attention in the meantime. I did want to bring up a few negatives that I feel are worth mentioning, though they do not really subtract from the overall experience of the service. First, when watching any of the multitude of TV series, especially those series that have multiple seasons and are not the Disney originals like The Mandalorian, there is no feature that allows you to pick up where you last stopped. I looked for it everywhere, couldn't find it. Now, this can be somewhat of a problem, especially if you want to binge a few episodes and then come back to that show a few days later, as I did when watching, for example, The Simpsons. My other concern is the lack of ability to sort shows and movies, especially by release date. Now, this isn't a huge problem, mostly a minor annoyance, especially when I tried to binge the Marvel movies in order of release. There is one last annoyance that I thankfully did not experience, as I had waited about a week before signing up. On launch, Disney Plus experienced heavier than expected usage from the audience, causing their servers to crash. People were experiencing longer than expected queues just to get into the service, and at one point the servers actually crashed. Was pretty cute. They had a picture of Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph on the screen, kind of indicating, kind of an inside joke with the whole Ralph breaks the internet thing. However, the problem is no longer an issue now that the initial binge craze has subsided. All in all, though, my honest opinion, Disney Plus is totally worth the $6.99 a month subscription fee. Personally, I actually went for the $12.99 a month subscription free in order to get Hulu Plus and ESPN Plus included. Now, speaking of Disney and Star Wars in particular, Disney is about to blanket the earth in Baby Yoda Mandalorian toys after holding back. Now, with the arrival of The Mandalorian, Disney had a problem. They could see that Jon Favreau's show had created what was arguably the cutest Star Wars character in the history of the franchise. That would be the child, which fans refer to as Baby Yoda, despite it not actually being Yoda, but rather a youngling in the unnamed Force-powerful species. Now, the problem was that Baby Yoda's reveal was something that Favreau really, really wanted to keep a secret before the show's debut. And usually the way leaks get out for this sort of thing is through retail merchandising, and so there are no official Baby Yoda toys ready to go alongside the launch of the show. Now, this no doubt irked Disney, who above all else see Star Wars as a merchandising cash machine. But it appears that some sort of arrangement was made. Favreau would get a short period of secrecy around Baby Yoda ahead of launch, allowing the first Disney Plus customers to see his reveal, which happens about 30 minutes into the series organically, but after that, all bets were off. As of this past week, Disney has been openly posting about Baby Yoda on all its social media channels, spoiling the reveal themselves, and well before that, no one could resist turning Baby Yoda into the internet's latest meme. It was simply inescapable. But now that the cat is out of the bag for almost everyone, Disney is reportedly about to salt the earth with Baby Yoda merchandise in the final month before Christmas. Because, of course, they weren't going to miss that chance. According to inside information from CNBC, Amazon, Zazzle, Target, Kohl's, Macy's, Hot Topic, and Box Lunch are all about to get licensed Baby Yoda merchandise to put on sale ahead of the holiday season, from toys to clothes and everything in between. Previously, Baby Yoda has only been sold by unlicensed Etsy dealers, but that's about to change massively. Now, the events of the show seem to indicate that Baby Yoda is a core part of the series, at least in this first season, and as such will be a presence in the series for the next 5 weeks at least. And every Friday we will be talking about what cute thing he did this week. Yesterday, playing with the Mandalorian's ship consoles, or his ears flapping in the wind. So he's not going anywhere, and we will keep seeing him and products for him until we end up breaking through his cuteness and being sick of him. Well, see anyway. So go ahead and buy those Etsy products while you can, because soon most of the merch will be lining Disney's pockets directly. I would expect this launch to happen in time for Black Friday, so stay tuned. Well, that's pretty much all we have for entertainment news this week and the entire episode. On to the final thoughts. Before we get to the final thoughts, a quick word from some other shows you might find entertaining.
Hey, I'm Chen.
And I'm James.
We're from A Bloody Mess Podcast, the badly researched true crime podcast.
We straddle the boundaries between documentary and comedy, and our aim is to leave you laughing and thinking, wow, I didn't know that.
So once you're done with this podcast, add us to your download lists and give us a go. Have a nice day.
Bye.
There's been a murder of podcast.
Hello! Do you listen to podcasts? Did you seriously just give me that look? I knew you listened to podcasts, But do you listen to the Bare Naked Ladies? Wait, don't hit fast forward. Yes, there's a band out there called Bare Naked Ladies. They are quirky, fun, comedic, and excellent musicians. If you love alternative 90s music with a little jazz, rap, and country mixed in at different times, then you've got to try this band out. And we will lead you through a journey of getting to love this band. We have 3 or 4 people with different levels of bare naked experience. We have Aaron, who's our music expert that breaks down each song. We will try to be informative, but also, we're all friends, so we like to have as much fun as possible. If you are a moderate fan of BNL, then you'll find new experiences and information. If you're a BNL fanatic like me, then I bet you too will find a song that is a deep dive that you never knew of. We sometimes have guests after the first letter. Oh, did I not mention that? We are Bare Naked ABCs, and the ABCs represents that we discuss the songs alphabetically. So come try us out on all platforms where podcasts are downloaded. Bare Naked ABCs. And no, we are not nude during the recordings.
Bare naked, bare naked, bare naked, ABCs.
Hello, future listeners. We are Historical AF. I'm Ashley.
I'm Keena.
And I'm Natalie.
We are 2 librarians and a historian bringing the funny, weird, spooky, and morbid historical nuggets you never knew you needed in your ear holes every Sunday.
And once a month, we bring you extra AF episodes full of your stories and history in the news.
And we do this while hitting the giggle water and gracing the world with our foul mouths and wit.
So if you love to laugh and you like history, true crime, and the paranormal, then we are the podcast for you, and your girls can't wait for you to join us.
You can find us on all major podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. For a full list of ways to listen, go to historicalafpodcast.wordpress.com. And while you're there, you can check out the photos that accompany each episode.
Yeah, bye. We'll see you soon. I don't know. That'll probably scare them away.
Yeah.
Probably.
Come to us.
Come to the dark side. We have vodka.
And
Yeah.
cookies.
Hell yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Well, here we are at the end of yet another episode of Hazardous Verbal Waste. I hope you found this episode both informative and entertaining. If there are any questions or comments or concerns you might have about this episode, or if you have a suggestion for a segment that you would like to see covered, there are several ways that you can contact the show. You can contact me directly through email. The email address is hazardousverbal@gmail.com. You can also go to my website, hazardousverbal.com. There's a contact page, and there's a contact us form on that page. Also on the contact page, there is links to the show's social media accounts. If you would like to leave a voice message and have your message played on a future episode of Hazardous Verbal Waste, you can contact me through Skype. The Skype ID is Ichimoto1. I would appreciate a bit of a heads up through email, though, if you choose to send me a voice message. For some reason, I haven't been getting any messages through Skype lately, and I don't know why. So just let me know that you've sent a voice message, and I will make sure to have your voice message played on a future episode. Well, like I said, this is the end of the episode. There was a lot of cool stuff that I went over, including my review of Disney Plus. I haven't figured out how to use ESPN Plus yet. There doesn't seem to be a streaming app available, at least not on my Roku TV. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I am excited to see the results of this weekend's YCS Pasadena event. I have actually, during recording, I got several messages regarding tournament results and match results from some of the events at YCS Pasadena. However, as I said, continuous coverage of the event is very spotty at best, and I will have to wait until probably Wednesday or Thursday to get more information about this event, so that next week's episode I will have more information for you guys and better coverage. That's pretty much all I have for this week. Until next time, I'm Shiro-chan. Peace.